Growing small is the key to scaling. Hey, I'm Chad Murray. I own a service company. I'm a business coach that I help small business owners, service business owners especially, that are out of the truck and doing well over $1 million, scale their business. And I do that through mindset and systems and processes and putting the right people in the right processes. And I've been helping, I've helped over 200 business owners do this and get their business where they have the freedom that they want. And so one of the things to do is growing small is the key to scaling. Now, everybody wants immediate, quick, satisfaction or results and stuff. And quite frankly, uh, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some other entrepreneurs that I'm helping with, and some other that have called and talked to me. I'm friends with a lot of other business owners too that I don't coach, or I've at least helped out a little bit. They've helped me and stuff. So I've got a lot of relationships with a lot larger service companies, 12, 15, $20 million companies. And let me tell you, especially getting out of this last 4 years of political stuff that's happened with the economy doing what it is, and regardless of your political affliction or flexion, or if you, whatever you want to call it, um, wherever you stand on that, quite frankly, business has not been what it was a few years back prior. And so hopefully next year we'll start on a path for businesses to help more people out and more employees, and start roaring again. And so with that, growing small, what does that mean? Everybody wants to do it fast. And the fact of the matter is, fast is not good. What fast does is it creates chaos. And there's good chaos and there's bad chaos. Good chaos is you you are busy, everything's going well, and you're learning and you're fixing easy stuff. That's good chaos. Then there's bad chaos where you're probably overselling, not selling the right stuff, problems with production, sales, the clients aren't getting the right messages, that goes to production, and you have bad chaos where you're not doing good business. And when you scale fast improperly, that's what happens. Now, I'm not saying that you can't scale fast. I mean, if things are working, it's going to inevitably start going faster than you may even want it to. But a lot of people will like hire me or talk to me, and they're waiting for me to promise, results of what I'm going to teach them, and I can teach you to go pretty fast. I mean, and with that said, that doesn't necessarily mean that's good for you. You need good business. You need to have good sound, systems to put the right people in. Like, you'll probably heard me say this before, but if you're new to my channel and new to me, you manage systems. You don't manage people. And when you understand that, now you're in the scaling mindset. And so that is what you have to build out first. The initial system, you have to perfect it, and then you have to build out the accountability system for that system. This is where a lot of people go wrong, is if you don't build the accountability side of it, then you're always saying, why didn't you do this? And I'm sure this sounds familiar to you. Why you told someone to do something 5 weeks ago, you've never followed up, and yet you're asking, why aren't you doing this? Well, it's because you're being a shitty manager. You're not managing it, right? So, or somebody's not managing it. And so that is where people build success with, here's the system, let's perfect it. Let's perfect the accountability of that system so it never goes away and it becomes culture. And then you have to less manage it because it's always going to happen. I'll give you a perfect story. So back when CRMs got really popular in the early 2000s, where you're putting the paper away to do estimates, and now you have a digital way to do it. At my service company, Master Services, I went way before iPads were even invented. I don't even remember what they were. Some type of tablet I had. I bought 7 of them, 7 or 8 of them, and gave one to every one of my guys. And I had to buy the little walk around Wi-Fi or cellular that could fuel them so that they could be on them to work with, because we wanted to have pictures. We wanted everyone to be able to get the pictures. And the problem with it was I couldn't get these guys to upload pictures, and they weren't getting me the correct befores, the durings, and the after photos that I could use for marketing. I could, if a customer had an issue, I could, from the office, could manage it without having to go out there. All this stuff was happening where I had so much better reporting if they would do their job. And I could not get them for the life of me to install that. I need these pictures. You need to get me these pictures. And so I probably seriously fired 8 or 9 guys because they might even been good at doing their jobs, but they just weren't doing what I needed them to do. And so I couldn't market properly. I couldn't defend our jobs or find out what we did wrong, all this stuff, because I didn't have images. And I'm a very image oriented person. So after you fire enough people, which is not recommended, but you fire enough people because they weren't doing their job. And let's face it, I was probably a shitty manager at the time, but that is what it is. And I finally got it to where I would hire people and I said, listen, your number one job here is to make sure the customer's happy and I have pictures. That was like literally what I would say. And then everything else is secondary. And so now, fast forward 15 years later, we barely have to tell anybody to get pictures because it's so ingrained to them. If a new guy forgets a picture, we make it a point when they first start, if we're missing a picture, to send them back so that they know that they will never not do that again. They will not take the picture. They will always take the picture. So anyway, scaling fast, is what I'm talking about, or slower or smaller. Growing small is the key to scaling, is because you've got to create these systems to put the people in to do that. And so here in the last 4 or 5 days, I've spoken to a $14 million service business owner, a $12 million, well, that 12 is probably close to 13 now, $13 million service owner. And I spoke to a $20 million service business owner. And it's funny. Every one of these guys have scaled their business differently. One guy went super fast and has had cash flow problems. Another guy who scaled up fast when he first started, fixed everything, and been scaling slowly, had just told me that he had the worst month in August he's ever had, and was way down. And the other guy is just like going out of the moon. Just everything's going right for this guy, no matter what he does. Touches it, turns to gold. But I will tell you this: there are ways to do that, and I will say this: they all got to over 10 million for doing one thing right. The scaling part of it was they all did it essentially at the speed that they could, and sometimes got into trouble, but then they would pull it back, get it right, and then hit the go again. And so when you're scaling and growing small is the key, is because you've got to function on the little things. And what are the little things that all three of these big companies do? Sales process. Sales process, focused in on that. That is what is going to scale your company. And you do it in small steps. You make sure that they're calling everybody, saying the same thing correctly. What are they saying? They knock on the door the same way. What are they saying at the door? The same way. How they close is the same close. How they talk about company story and when do they do it? I mean, all these things. And okay, the $14 million guy told me when he's focusing on sales process this summer was his sales process got too complicated and they need to make it simpler. Well, totally get it. I mean, you need a sales process that is easy to actually put in an action steps so that the guys aren't overwhelmed. And so what I do, and I'll show, is I have it all written down. And this is for every service company out there. We just make it to your own niche, But this has all the steps, and I'll tell you, when you do it like this and it's in writing, and you can just like every page is numbered by and the index is in the front. When you start doing it like this, you now have a process to see what they are or aren't doing. And when you do that, now all of a sudden you can start pinpointing what's going wrong so that you can grow smart and scale. I mean, I would rather spend 2 years getting to 5 million and making 5 million than spend 1 year getting to 5 million and losing it all, or just having major headaches. And so that's not a business model that I ever want to deal with. I want to make sure that everything I do is going to stick. And the way you make it stick is you grow small. And by growing small is meaning if you're always growing and you're always making things better. I mean, that's the whole point. Like I said about the pictures, you got to work on your sales process. You want to grow fast enough that is going to be sustainable and will always keep that level. I mean, business is not always just going to do this. It is going to ebb and flow. It just always is. However, in your seasons, like every business has a season, whether you're seasonal or not. You have a season. You have your buying season. And in that buying season, is it going to be better than last year's? And that's where you look at, because if your sales process is there, you're going to be able to tweak little things on that sales process to grow small, which starts adding up. And when you add up the growth of adding $500,000 to your off season because your sales process is better, how much would that make a difference for you if from March, let's say you're a winter seasonal business. Let me take that back. Most of you are summer businesses, so you have a winter slower time. So what if you were to take the 3 months, or let's go 4 or 5 months of the winter time, and you were able to do 500 grand more than you did every other year before? That seems big, right? Well, take that by 5, that's 100,000. Take that by 100,000 divided by 4, that's 25,000 more a week. That's a lot. But what if you could scale it down to the 25,000 divided by 5 is 5,000 more a day, and you take the $5,000 a day, how many people, clients, opportunities you have, and what can you do with those? And if you take the opportunities that you do have, you come up with the number of taking that number and go, okay, if I have 5 appointments a day between my guys, or let's just say 6, let's make even numbers, 6. You have 6 appointments a day. I need 25,000 more a week. Okay, how do I get 25,000 more a week? Well, I'm going to break this down. I need 5,000 more a day. I got 6 appointments. So I mean, with 5,000, I only need, 5,000 divided by 6. I'm only needing $700-800 more out of each appointment. How do you get that? And these numbers, I'm just using these as simple numbers. It could be a lot less. I mean, what would it be like if you make $10,000 more in a month on your off season? I mean, and you divide that by, let's just say I said 10,000 a month. So you take 10,000 a month, that's 2,500 a week, 500 a day, 5 appointments. That's 100. And you add $100 service to it somehow. Grow small, right? Think small. Think small is going to start getting you big. That's everyone always wants to know big. What are the big numbers? Well, the big numbers come from the small numbers. So grow small. That's the difference. When you grow small, you grow big, because you have to start thinking on the molecular level of the client and what work you offer. The best way to growing small, honestly, in my opinion, is the existing clients that you have when you're there. Instead of, a lot of people go out and try to go get tons more opportunities and more leads. Well, that's fine. But you know what the $10 million companies have done? They have made their average sales ticket on their initial time they meet their clients, and they have doubled them what people who are at 5 million or under 10 million. They have learned how to take that customer and sell them the gamut. Whatever they have to offer, they're offering, and they're doing a lot of it. So I was actually talking to a pressure washing company this morning, who's going to start on my coaching program here later this month. And we were talking. He offers window washing, pressure washing is his main deal. Window washing, dryer vent cleaning, and there was one more thing. Doesn't matter. So let's just take those 3. Window washing, pressure washing, well, soft washing too. So pressure washes cement, and he soft washes houses. Okay, so 4. I said, okay, well, do you know your numbers to break it down? And he did. He said soft washing is 38% of his business, and everything else was with single digits. And I'm like, okay. Well, not single digits, but there are a couple double digits, but they weren't even half of what that was. I said, okay, well, let's do this. How much are you charging? All right. You're charging, I think he said roughly, to do a pressure washing or a house job was, God, I think he said it was $700. I said, okay, how much is a dryer vent cleaning? He said he's charging $175. Okay. How much is a window washing cleaning? Well, the soft wash, the outside windows are included because they wash it. I said, well, are you doing the inside and you're doing screens? No. All right. So now let's go. So right now you show up, you offer the inside windows for whatever that going rate is, probably $3 a window, whatever it is, ish. And you get another, let's just say $350 out of that. You go do the dryer vent cleaning for $175. And now you just literally just took that $700 sale and doubled and 50%ed it up, right? So, I mean, he literally just got $450 more off a $700 sale. And I showed him how to sell a dryer vent cleaning. I mean, dryer vent's easy, and I don't even know. I don't even have to know how to sell dryer vents, although my company does do it. But I'll tell you this: when you look at a dryer vent, all you got to do is go outside and see if there's any lint on it. So I taught him how to sell it. I hadn't even signed me as a client yet. I said, "Well, do you ever go look at the dryer vents when you're outside soft washing? Do you ever actually see lint?" He goes, "All the time." Because what do you go tell the customer? And he looked at me like, "Ding, no." I'm like, "Okay, well, why?" You know, it's the number one house fire thing in the world. I mean, for houses is dryer vent fires. Google it, you'll see it. There's tons of fires that happen, and they always talk about it's the number one thing that way houses burn down. House fires occur from dryer vents. I said, so now you walk in there and you say, listen, you got a bunch of lint. You know, number one cause of house fires is dryer vents. I clean dryer vents. I can get that done, for you too today while I'm doing the soft wash. Okay, so $175. I mean, 98% of people are going to say yes. Why not? Why wouldn't you? I mean, there's the lint. I showed them the proof. They're growing small. See what I'm saying? You're doing that. And then all of a sudden you go, well, we don't clean the screens and soft washes. We need to take the screens off. We need to wash them. Go show them an ugly screen. Show them what it looks like if they cleaned it. Clean one. Show them the differences. And this is an additional, how much more? And I just showed this guy how to literally double his money. I mean, or 50% his money just off of one call. He hadn't even hired me yet. Grow small. That's the idea. What can you do small and keep going and keep doing it and get good at it and do that? That's how you grow small. So anyway, there'll be a link down here. I have a free course. Go to the free course. You can start learning a lot of stuff that I already do, and click that. Sign up. There's no obligation for anything. If you ever want to talk to me, book a call. My calendar down there too. Let's come up with a strategy. Let's see how we can start growing your business, and we can get on a call, and we'll either like each other or we won't. If anything else, you'll leave with some great tips. And if not, it is what it is. You will. So I hope to see you soon, and grow small. It's the key to scaling.